Hi, Gemini. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for September 8th through the 14th. Let's get right into things. I'm going to do a general spread first, and then I'll timestamp for the relationship portion, which is where I'm going to do a he said, she said spread. So I'll pull an extended Celtic course spread for you, and then separate for somebody that an energy that you may be dealing with. Again, I'm going to timestamp below for that, but let's just do a general lay of the land here for everybody. So for this, I'm going to connect it to, you might resonate with it for a relationship or work, a family situation, whatever's going on. Let's get right into things. So on September 10th, all the way, it's taking us through October 7th, we have Venus hanging out in Scorpio, and that's going to be in your 6th house. That 6th house has to do with your health, mental, physical, emotional. It has to do with, Ten of Swords, end of a challenging time period, having to do with maybe if you're getting past some sort of health situation, very nice. That also has to do with your day-to-day work environment. You maybe are ending a situation or trying a different strategy when it comes to your health, trying a different strategy even when it comes to the health of your pets, all right, because that is that 6th house energy as well. All right, so let's pull the cards and before I get ahead of myself. But anyway, we have that Venus and Scorpio energy is very, very passionate, right? I mean, superficial anything is not going to fly here. So we're going to be taking things, Gemini, very sort of to heart when it comes to not only your health, but it could also have to do with, any kind of work situation, anything like that. And it's a very emotional time. You're going to want to feel very connected and very in control and very sort of in charge of something. But you can experience a fear of feeling a little too vulnerable, of feeling like you're needing to give up your power in order to make a situation happen. And that could be uncomfortable, but that's like the other side of that deep passion that you're going to be feeling in that energy. And remember, being in Scorpio, wherever Scorpio and Pluto are hanging out in our chart at any given time, there's meant to be some sort of change, some sort of transformation. It's not uncomfortable because it's not meant to be uncomfortable, right? So that I see some sort of but I see it being very positive change here for you in these areas. And then on the September 14th, 15th, depending on where you live, through the end of October, we have Mars is going to be in Libra, right? And so that's going to be in your 5th house. So that 5th house energy has to do with romance, love affairs, your ability to play, the idea of fertility, right? Either being able to have children, something to do with your children is also a very, very creative space. So when Mars is in Libra, we're all going to be basically a lot more agreeable, charming, not wanting to confront anything uncomfortable. We're not going to want to be the bad guy in any sort of situation, but you can be going through something where you feel a lot of indecisiveness regarding a creative project, something to do with your kids, something to do with a relationship. There can be this element of indecisiveness, right? Because Mars is a warrior energy, it's fire, and Libra's air. And Libra's like, oh, no, calm down, all right, let's just talk about that. So it's like that kind of tension can create a lot of what I'm calling mental gymnastics, right, during this time period. So you just want to be careful of any sort of potential passive-aggressive behavior. But let's get into the cards and I'll work through what I see going on primarily with Venus and the Sun right now, I think is worth mentioning right now during this time period. So we do have this 10 of Swords. So there's a history of something where there's an ending. And it's that final release of something that's going to finally release you from a really challenging time period. Now, for some of you, this could even be painful, particularly if it's the end of any kind of relationship or a job or something like that. But it could also be like, wow, that's finally done. That thing is finally done. Like, put a fork in it. I'm ready to feel lighter, to just approach moving forward with fresh eyes and a new mindset. Clarifying that is the Fool. So for some of you, it's you going in a totally different direction. So if the 10 of Swords is the ending of a job, some sort of opportunity, something like this is going in a completely different direction and it going well, right? I mean, this is a Uranus energy. Uranus is very game changer energy, shake it up energy so that we could do things differently, right? Also, if this has to do with relationship, this could indicate you're finally getting past a challenging time period in relationship. Maybe you're finally healing from that situation. You're finally moving past it and you're meeting somebody new. Or you and a partner are finally addressing those challenges once and for all, and you're relating in a very different way right now. And you're making this decision, like, we're going to do things differently now than before, right? So there's this energy of different. And I love, love, love that we have that clarified by the 10 of Coins, because this is beautiful. It's about family, maturity, deepening of commitment, excellent energy, obviously, for any sort of business connections, any sort of business opportunities, having to do with shared anything within family, property, good energy for property. This is a will you marry me card. This is a let's have a baby. This is about taking your energy together and expanding it, whether it's that business situation, that relationship situation, family, whatever it is, it's expanding it. And it's, love it, right? The Queen of Cups is beautiful here, Gemini and Cancer. Nice. I mean, right? Gemini, all about communication. Cancer is about feeling grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. What are you talking about? You're talking about home. You're talking about family. You're talking about your emotions, how you feel about being in something. You're having conversation about something to do with family. But there's this release here, which I like, you know, and it's all about the truth, right? I mean, we have the truth coming to the surface here with the Queen of Swords is really being very motivated to get to the bottom of somebody's psychological motivation, right? Why is something happening the way it is? Why are things rolling out a particular way? What's really going on? Right? And this is really because Virgo and Libra energy, wherever Virgo is, Virgo asks a lot of questions, right? And because Virgo's sitting in your 4th house with the sun, and Mars is going to be in the 4th house, by the way, until like the 14th, 15th. So for a lot of the week, Mars is still going to be in that 4th house, and it's going to be opposite Neptune in Pisces. So there might be something going on either within the home, about the home, having to do with people that you live with, or having to do with some sort of situation that you're looking to help establish an ability for you to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in your life. There might be some sort of like I'm going to say nebulous. It's almost like a fog, right? A little fog around it, right? We always say that with Neptune, a little smoke and mirror energy. But it does seem like the truth is going to be coming out, that you're going to be very successful in figuring something out. But don't be surprised if it makes you feel rather anxious. Is like anxious and overwhelmed, and you might even be struggling with a little bit of depression on one side, but so many good things are happening in like another part of your life that you may be in this space where it's like, oh my gosh, the energy is going to be so high that you might feel like, oh, I don't think I'm responding very well to the external stress of something, because it's like you need to figure something out and you're having a really hard time doing it, but it's like a good thing because it's being clarified by the 10 of Cups. So this 10 of Cups has to do with anything that is going to help you establish a greater sense of security, whether it's family, whether it's anything that would generate contentment in your life. So maybe it's a job, maybe it's again, a family situation, a project, whatever it is. This is like everything that you've been working on finally coming together, having to do with that business situation, that romantic situation, family situation, communication, whatever it is. But it's like, wow, I mean, this is a heavy, heavy energy. And I want to say, let me get through the cards, and then I want to comment a little bit about the astrology, okay? So hang with me, guys. Please don't fast forward, because this is all very relevant to what's going on. Let's go to the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords, because I know some of you hate the astrology, but, you know, it's my jam. It's what I do here. So the Eight of Swords is about Jupiter and Gemini. It is about feeling like this element of feeling trapped, but it's very self-imposed, Gem. And it's thinking things are never going to get better, and they're never going to improve, and it's always going to be like this, right? And that can end up kind of circling into this energy of almost of like rumination. So like, I don't feel like I belong in this situation anymore. Something smells funny. Something doesn't feel right. I don't know. Right? And you're going to need a lot of determination and clear thinking to be able to pull yourself out of it, even if it means swallowing your pride, you know, needing to get past a particular situation, because there's something going on that's not squaring with what you really want. So the Five of Swords is about that, right? It's this clash of what it is that you desire, what it is that you want, and the reality that you're living, right? And it's that tension and that ongoing conflict that you're not going to be able to get in front of, because the tension isn't coming from you. It's coming from outside of you. So it could either be from a person, a group of people, or an extenuating circumstances surrounding some sort of situation that you can't possibly control. So this is the kind of thing where it's like, all right, let me just step back. right? If we're doing this justice, right? The Five of Swords, better to walk away and step back for a hot minute, right? It's a minor arcana. It's not going to last. And just deal with your anger, your disappointment, whatever it is, because you can't fix somebody else's stuff. So you may be dealing with a really challenging personality, group of people, or a sticky situation. But whatever it is, I do see being able to work it out with the Temperance energy. So Temperance energy, before I even get into it, for those of you who don't know what it is, in numerology, it's connected to the Hierophant. And the Hierophant has to do with important relationships. Can be marriage, it can mean important relationships, just period. But it also has to do with expectation and conforming. The idea of what's expected in a situation and how well is somebody conforming to those expectations in order to, Temperance, be able to cooperate, right? In order to be able to reconcile some sort of situation. Right? Because this new level of trust and patient cooperation really wants to kind of pop in so that whatever sort of discomfort and volatility is being, addressed here can be tempered, can be evened out here. But we have this Four of Cups energy, which is an interesting card to end on, because this is an energy of restlessness and boredom and feeling kind of disillusioned, right? Are things ever going to go the way that I really want them to go? Am I ever going to feel totally comfortable in this? Am I ever going to, you know what I mean? And all of that may be true, but there is this call, Gemini, where you have to look a little deeper within yourself and figure out whatever discomfort is going on here, what is it poking at in you that needs to still be healed from either an old wound, a past situation, early childhood trauma, whatever it is. It's feeling that. Now, for some of you, if you're dealing with relationship or even job, you guys may be in this space, and I just think this is very interesting, having to do with the Venus and Scorpio energy, because let's keep in mind this is happening, the Venus and Scorpio energy, this deep drive for passion is happening in that 6th house of your work environment and your day-to-day experience and how you're feeling in things in life in general, right? So what's interesting here is some of you may be feeling like, I'm so bored right now. My life needs spice. Even though I have a bunch of things going on, it's not maybe what I really want. And the thing, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, Gemini. Excuse me, important message that I'm talking about here. You might just need some spice in that relationship. You might need to spice things up in your work life. And because what can happen here with Venus and Scorpio in the 6th house is because of the fears of feeling vulnerable, because of the fears of giving up power, because it's all this all or nothing energy, we can easily create crises where maybe they shouldn't be in order to test the situation or in order to spice something up. So it's just something to be mindful of. It's not a big deal. It's a minor arcana. I'm really not worried about it too much. Let's just pull a couple of energies on that. Knight of Coins. Yeah, Knight of Coins. You feel like something's missing a little bit in your life, That person is awesome, but there's something missing about them. That job is great. You're focused on increasing your prosperity, financial growth. You're all about increasing, but you might not feel totally connected to it. And that's being clarified by the Justice energy. So just know that you might feel or experience a challenging situation that feels like a test. This does mean that things are going to go in your favor. So any kind of, if it has to do with career or money, negotiation, interview, any situation where a meeting of the minds is needed, it's going to go well. If money's been an issue, things are set to improve. If this has to do with relationship, balance and fairness are going to be looked at. So this is nothing but good. But it's like this identification of something not feeling comfortable and then talking about it, right? Now I kind of just want to do a little quick sweep through before we get into the relationship reads. I'm just going to do a quick sweep through of just the meaning of what's going on with Venus and the Sun right now. First of all, that Venus energy in the 6th house is going to be squaring Saturn. So Venus 6th house, Saturn is in your 9th house. 9th house has to do with negotiation. It has to do with launching a project, marketing, advertising, publishing, anything like that. It also has to do with higher education. It has to do with foreign land, foreign travel. It also has to do with in-laws. So that 6th house energy could really apply to any part of your life, particularly work environment, yes, but also anything having to do with your health, anything having to do with any other part of your life, to be honest with you. But there could be jealousy. There could be some coldness or disconnect with a loved one that causes you grief, that causes you to feel kind of lonely or a sense of loss, having to do with the tension between this energy. Somebody might disappoint you with their indifference or their criticism, and your emotional environment can definitely feel a little topsy-turvy when it comes to, again, your work or something to do with your health right now, right? And then we have Venus assessing squaring Neptune. So this can indicate a strange and sudden, maybe even an unexpected thing. So it could be an argument, it could be a breakup, it could be a misunderstanding, something like that, but it can end up messing with your ability to feel peaceful in a situation, and ends up making you feel like more nervous or rejected or betrayed or something like that, just like not good. So stay balanced though, right? Hang with those who love you, hang with those who have your back. Give the situation some breathing room. It's going to end up going in your favor. This is temporary, it is, but you have to let the rest of the month roll out for that. Then we have the sun semi-squaring Venus. So that sun in the 4th house is semi-squaring Venus in that 6th house, right? So we have that idea of home, and we have the idea of work environment, right? The idea of home and your mental, physical, and emotional health. So you are likely to experience some sort of lack of support when it comes to your own personal goals. So this could be because of a lack of money. Maybe you don't have enough money to do that project, buy that house, do something like that. Or it could just be a lack of emotional support. This is not a big deal, but it's something that's going to feel like a big deal in the moment. So just focus on and make changes where you can, and let the other stuff go, because everything else that you feel like is going to feel very necessary to do right now, having to do with like a work situation or anything surrounding home, let it breathe a little bit. It's going to go in your favor. It's not as important as it's going to feel like in the moment. And then we have the sun quincunxing Jupiter. So let go of any sort of negative behaviors, any sort of negative thoughts, anything like that. You're going to be so much better off just being able to move forward in a very optimistic way. In other words, Gem, don't get caught up in the weeds of something. I'm telling everybody that, regardless of the houses that it's falling in. But for you, we have that sun again in Virgo in that 4th house of home. And Jupiter is in that 9th house of higher education, negotiating, launching, belief system, all of that. So if you're feeling that energy, stay positive. Don't get caught up in but they said this, and then this happened, and then that happened. All right, if something is not working straight out of the gate, sit back and give it a little breathing room, because it's going to end up going in your favor. The sun is also conjunct Mars. Even when Mars moves into the 5th house for you, at the end of the week, it's still going to be in such a close configuration with the sun. It's still going to be conjunct. So lots of energy to get what you want, especially having to do with anything regarding a creative project, something that you're really interested in doing, anything having to do with children. Really nice energy there. And then we have the sun sessi squaring Saturn. So again, sun, 4th house, sessi squaring Saturn in your 9th house. It's time to reflect on your truth realistically and figure out if whatever you're feeling stuck in, having to do with your ability to feel grounded, rooted, and safe and secure, having to do with your ability to launch something, having to do with the ability of being able to negotiate something in a way that you feel 100% comfortable with. Is that a temporary period of frustration, or is it time to make some more serious decisions so that you could just live life more authentic to you? Are you beating a dead horse? Are you trying to fit a circle in a square? I feel like it's going to become obvious to a lot of you. So much good energy is coming in, but this may be something that you're needing to look at in one part of your life. And then finally, the last thing I want to mention is the sun opposing Neptune. This is Gem, I don't know. Has anybody had a lot of floods or issues like with plumbing breaking or like weird water issues, either within your own home or within your place of work, or with anybody who is very closely connected in your life? Just throwing that out there, right? Is when we have Neptune opposing Mars and the sun, hello, that equals water stuff. But regardless of that, this is a time for considering options instead of making any hard or fast decisions like right now. Your energy is probably going to feel kind of low. You're going to probably feel tired because this is a very busy month. But at the same time, just be really good to yourself and trust that whatever you don't feel like you have complete clarity on is going to lift. And I'm going to say, let me be more specific. Let's see. So the sun is in Virgo, going to be going into Libra. They're going to be going into Scorpio. Let's wait until the sun is trining that Neptune energy. So like that. So let's look at more into, I feel like, you know, looking at the degrees, I feel like it's going to be like an October into November thing. I think October is going to be really good for you. November is going to be even better. So I love like the upward trajectory that we have going on here for sure. A lot of like busy, a lot of stuff going on with money and home. There's stuff, lots of you are moving, lots of you are investing in things or taking on projects that are really going to speak to your ability to feel very kind of grounded in what it is that you want in your life. So very nice. All right, so now we're going to go into relationship read. And we're going to do you first and then an energy that you're dealing with. Gemini friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Justice, yeah. What's challenging the idea of justice is the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, you're losing your patience a little bit, Gem. You're like, come on, let's get it going on now. Okay. So, if you're coming into this energy, the Five of Swords tells me that, you know, there was something going on within a relationship that was not aligning with what you really wanted in a relationship. And you knew inherently that it was not coming from your end of the yard, right? It was more like, you know, you being able to identify, like, look, all right, this particular situation is a thing. It's a minor arcana, it's a thing. And it's not going away, but you recognize, like, I don't have the power to control this. Some sort of situation was going on. But it was creating this lack of alignment between what you really wanted and then the reality that you were living within the relationship. And it was that discomfort, right, that really prompts you to sort of step back, right? At least temporarily, some of you may have stepped back, and it's like with grace and dignity and say, look, you know, I'm going to take my losses where I can. I'm like stepping back from this situation because, like, I can't mitigate their stuff. I can't fix that thing that I don't have control over. I can only look at my stuff, right? That kind of thing. But right now, it does seem like there is a lot of communication with the Justice energy is Libra. Libra's air. So there's a lot of communication about balance and fairness, and that being very important to look at right now. Because, you know, remember, Venus rules Libra, and Venus really wants us to feel good about being in relationships, feel good about being in whatever we're in, right? So this is about making sure that your emotional needs are being met. Doesn't matter if the person that you're dealing with completely agrees with your perspective. It just needs to be enough that they understand it and that they were able to exercise some integrity. Now we have the Seven of Pentacles as the challenge here. Now, what is the challenge to that ability to have this fairness? Could be, for some of you, maybe you feel like maybe you gave up too soon on the relationship, or maybe somebody else gave up too soon, or you're feeling very unmotivated to actually really put a lot of effort into the relationship at this point. Because maybe you have put a ton in up to this point. You're just like, man, I'm tired. It's time for you to step up and you to do the work, right? Some of you may be dealing with that, or you may be dealing with somebody who's just not showing up in the way that you know is necessary in order for there to be a fair and balanced situation. Because remember, justice is about things that are equitable. So is there fairness being exercised in this relationship, right? And if you don't resonate with it like that, the Seven of Pentacles as a challenge could just be straight up, you are losing your patience. You're losing your patience, and you're wondering if it's the right thing for you. Now, the basis of the situation is the Seven of Cups, and this is a Venus and Scorpio energy, which has to do with choices and confusion and commitment issues. And this could be coming from you or them towards you, but you're not sure what's real, what's not. Things can feel very up in the air, having to do with a particular area of your relationship. So that point of confusion could be about the relationship itself, or you guys could be experiencing a lot of confusion, the two of you together as a couple, having to do with maybe a home or maybe a project that you guys are working on or something like that. It's almost like you feel like you're at this the precipice of this new beginning. You feel it, you taste it, you smell it, you feel the wind from it, but it's like right there, right? And you feel that the change is there. So right now, though, we have the Lover's energy, which I actually really like here, because not only is it you, but it's about balance. And it's about recognizing that something needs to be not to be repetitive, but balanced out. I mean, you know, in numerology, the Lovers is the devil card, and the devil is all about being shackled in an unhealthy way, right? Putting too much weight on the wrong things. Whether that's because somebody's nursing an addiction, somebody is exercising selfish behaviors, maybe they have narcissistic tendencies, whatever the situation is, it doesn't really matter. But it creates this situation where there's a shackling. But the shackles are never real. They're more imaginary, and it's just about, okay, with the Lover's energy, this is the situation we have. No, nothing is perfect. We promise each other that we're going to get on the same page and work at this together. And then Archangel Raphael is going to bless it. It's going to be beautiful. But there's this question mark. It's almost like, and guys, honestly, I don't even feel like it matters how long you've been together. It's this weird, well, that always happens, right, when energy is involved in the nodes of the moon, right? And right now, right, you guys are the north node of the moon right now. It's a very karmic, very destiny-driven kind of energies are going on here right now, but it's actually meant to level the relationship up. But I feel like in the process of creating balance here, the suggested approach is the Three of Swords. So you have to look at, where has the heartbreak been experienced? Who has felt betrayed? Where has the pain of truth come out and maybe it was damaging? And this is not about pointing fingers. This is not about standing in judgment. This is about sitting down and putting everything on the table and saying, okay, this, and this happened, and that happened in reality, in real time. Now what are we going to do about it? Because this is the recommended approach, to look at this and put the lights on so that some real healing can begin. You're dealing with an energy external from you who really wants to be very supportive. They want to have abundance in this connection with you. They do. 3 is the number of creation. This is something that they want. But you are of... Okay. Moon in Libra. This is a sister air sign. You're in an emotional stalemate, and this is a challenge for you right now. You need to make a decision. You know this. This is a challenge. You're feeling confused. This energy of indecision, information overload. Knowing that a compromise needs to be made. Now, there may be a need to make a compromise regarding some sort of situation going on in your relationship where it's like, okay, this isn't ideal, but I have to compromise, you know. But you might be like, I can agree to it short term. I don't know about long term. I don't know. But this is your internal psychology. This is what you're feeling here. Now, in the near future, we have the Judgment. So this Judgment energy is about you assessing the relationship and shifting it into a new phase by choice, right? This is you spiritually waking up. You're making the decision to let go of the past. You want everybody did the best they knew how in the moment. If all you have in your toolbox is a hammer, you're going to treat everything like a nail, right? That's it, right? We do the best we can in the moment. You forgive them, they forgive you. Nobody's forgetting anything, but forgiveness is there because it's healthy to just forgive and be able to move past, right? Now, for a lot of you, you may be in a space where you're needing to have a reconciliation with somebody, where maybe, you know, you're in this weird space here and you're trying to work things out, but you're not totally back together yet, or things are a little uncomfortable. Others of you who are together, you're needing to reconcile certain situations that are going on within the relationship that have been an issue, and you have to sit down and have that conversation if you think the relationship is worth it. And it always comes down to that. We're not a slave to the energies. I'm just giving you the weather that's going to be available. Definitely for those of you who are single, going back to an old relationship, again, only if it's worthwhile. Only if it's worthwhile. But this is a Pluto energy, you know? And so it's just, Pluto's always about change. There's this idea of change that's going on. And because Pluto's in your 8th house of merging, of intimacy, of sex, of shared finances, of shared, right, in relationship, I do feel like this speaks very directly to what, you know, whatever's going on in your relationship, but there's going to be some conflict going on here. Battle of the wills, lack of agreement. You know, who's paying more for what? Who's instigating intimacy more than who? Who's better at communication than who? Like there, and the thing is, there could be like this microscope on all of these issues because Venus is in Scorpio. You know what I mean? So it's like you know, you can't not see certain things. So let's clarify. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Yeah, it's going to be like internal competition within the relationship, and I know that sounds horrible, but it's what I'm sensing here. So there's definitely going to be conversation going on, right? With the Magician is Mercury, so Mercury rules you in Virgo, so it's a communication in order to problem solve and to have a better understanding of what's needed, right, in the situation. So what's really necessary is the Chariot. Chariot is all about moving away from something that's toxic. And what's very interesting to me here is in numerology, this is the Tower. And then we got the Tower. So there's a lot of Tower and Chariot energy. So there's got to be a necessary surrender to the way something has been. And there's got to be this very purposeful pulling away from anything that's toxic. Whether it's been the way you guys have been relating up to this point, there's got to be big sweeping change coming in here. There's no question in my mind. None whatsoever. But this Chariot energy for relationship, some sort of situation here is expedited, right? And it's a moving away from the negative towards the positive. As we are getting some really, the Magician is a very positive energy, and it's clarifying that. So I do like that. But clarifying that is the Seven of Wands in reverse. And this can be, somebody feeling maybe exercising very weak boundaries, giving up, things stalling out, things dragging their feet. Maybe somebody promised stuff and there's no follow through. This could also be what's been discussed as an issue up to this point, where many things were promised and there was not a lot of follow through. But then we have the Queen of Wands energy stepping into your power. And what I like about this energy too, it's a Pisces and Aries energy. So it's about fresh path, new perspective. Let's talk about our dreams and how we would ideally like things to happen. And even if you're not going to make all of those things happen, the relationship's going to feel energized by the openness and by the communication, which is actually really, really nice. And there's going to be this feeling of reciprocity. I have your back, you have mine. You guys could be, again, this idea of property, generosity, family, but things getting better, things going in a good direction. It's being clarified by the Sun. So you guys, again, having all the tools that you need in your toolbox to manifest a really beautiful new level, new stage in your relationship. Because that's what the Sun is. I mean, it's a beautiful energy about further growing a beautiful connection. Some of you may even be going on vacation. Some of you may be going on, a little getaway along whatever, or planning a little getaway to sort of do this sort of reconnection and get back to what really matters, right? So clarifying that Sun energy, what do you need to recognize? You need to recognize that Mars is in the house, and Mars is showing up to say, you guys are either going to figure this relationship out in a healthier way moving forward, or I'm just taking it down to never be revived. And I have to tell you, because this is being clarified by the Four of Wands, I feel like what's going to be happening here is you're going to realize the way you've been doing this relationship is not for everyone's best interests. This is a very page-turning energy, and I feel like that very strongly. So I feel like the Tower energy is more of an internal Tower moment, either for you, for your partner, or for the both of you a little bit, where you're going to look at how you've been dealing with the relationship up to this point, and you're going to say, whoa, wait a minute. If I step back and I look at this objectively, I see where things have gone wrong, and I want to make good on it. You're going to want to express how you really feel. You're going to want to open your heart. You're going to want to create that firm foundation. This is a beautiful energy. Beautiful. This is also a homecoming energy. So this could be you guys moving or deciding to move in together, or something to do with home as well. Nothing has to be perfect. It might be a weird situation you're in. You might be, maybe it's not ideal. Don't let that ruin it. Everything is happening just as you meant to happen, as it's meant to happen. But I like the Cancer and Leo energy that's indicated here, because Cancer is about feeling very loved and very sort of at home in something, and Leo is about friendship and giving your whole heart, and it's about love and allowing some playfulness into the relationship, and allowing friendship within the relationship to really shine. And it's through settling the conflict that's either you're experiencing either within yourself or with them. It doesn't matter. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe the two of you are just like dealing with this element of confliction. But it's going to happen because you know why? This is an unafraid of intimacy. This is a very emotionally intelligent time for you, Gemini. Beautiful. Well. I hope that happens for me. I tend to resonate more with my rising sign. Okay. But it depends on the month, you know. For those of you who aren't sure the difference here, your sun is your ego consciousness, right? It's kind of like the thread that just sort of runs through your center, right? It's the origination of your consciousness and the way you process things. But your rising sign has to do with your appearance, your perception of your own identity, your approach to life, how people view you. So it's very, very important to understand your rising sign as well. Your moon can give information about what's going on in your home life, your emotions. All right, it has to do with your emotional life. And then Venus could give you an indication of what's going on with your money, with your self-esteem, and even with how you're handling your energy within a relationship as well. Okay, so now this is for somebody that you're dealing with. The question I get asked a lot too, I mean, and a lot of you know my husband's a Gemini and I'm a Gemini sun. We're both Gemini sun. But, you know, and so what do you do in those situations? You have to look at all the energies, right? I mean, it could be relevant for the two of us, even though, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, like my husband's a Sag, you know, rising. So like that would, you know, a lot of times that is a heavier indicator for him. So, you know what I mean? So if you have the same sign with somebody that you're in a relationship with, it's very, very helpful. And if you don't know the time that they were born, then obviously you're not going to be able to know house placements with their rising sun, but you could certainly figure out their Venus or their moon. You could still do that if you know their birthday. You won't know house placements and stuff, but you know, you could get a little more information than just the sun sign. All right, anyway. So yeah, energy that you were dealing with coming in, offering you something. Beautiful energy, emotional energy, offering you love, offering you something. There's some sort of suggestion coming in here in the recent past. Okay, they came in offering you that. Where are they right now? Right now in this relationship, they're Ace of Swords. They are looking to get over past obstacles with you. They are all about new beginnings. They are very, very clear thinking in this relationship. They're feeling very mentally agile. They want things to be better. What is the challenge here? The challenge is the Eight of Swords. So there might still be something that's troubling them, right? That they might not even be talking to you about. The Eight of Swords is this very sort of self-imposed feeling of feeling trapped. Self-imposed feeling that things are never gonna be any different than they are right now. Like your partner might feel like there's something that that they worry about in the relationship with you, that they might not be very forthcoming because maybe you guys have talked about it like a ton, but they still are having a hard time getting past it. And it's that feeling of, you know, I don't know if this is the right thing. I'm not sure. But they definitely want to be in it. But it's like this thing that's seriously bothering them. So then we have the Emperor energy as the basis of the situation. So with the Emperor in relationship here, it's about having a really good conversation about future plans, practical matters being addressed in the relationship. This is what needs to be going on. Like in real world time here, how are we going to be playing this out moving forward? Having to do with X, Y, and Z. Having to do with whether it's a home, whether it's kids, whether it's a business project you're working on together, whether it's whatever it is. You guys sitting down and your partner being very sort of like, no, okay, I need to take kind of control over this situation and sitting down and being the leader in the situation. At least from their perspective, this is how they're viewing themselves. Right? They're viewing themselves. And Gem, you might even be dealing with an energy who's feeling very vulnerable or insecure over whether you feel like you're in the right situation with them. You know what I'm saying? where like, you know, because something from the past might be coming up and it might be this little sort of snake that's bothering them. I don't know, you know, is Gemini really happy with me? Is this really what they want? Blah, 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 kind of thing. But this is them trying to take control and trying to do things differently. Now, the current situation, we have the Ten of Swords. Sometimes we just love the Ten of Swords, Gemini, right? Because this is about an ending of something that was difficult and there was a history to it, and let's release it and leave it in the past already. So leave it. Now, for some of you, there's going to be this idea of, is this relationship over? I can't keep doing this anymore. I need to be lighter. I need to feel lighter, right? This is them, right? This is what they're feeling right now as the current situation. Others of you, your partners are going to be like, whatever happened before, that painful stuff that happened up to this point, that is done. I'm closing the door to that. I want to focus on manifesting more positive things moving forward in this relationship. And the recommended approach, we have the Four of Wands. So the recommended approach is look at the living situation. Look at the foundation that you guys have created. Look at how well you guys are communicating and expressing your love and affection for each other. Look at that. Look at all of these things, the beautiful things, the Venus and Aries energy, and focus on a fresh path, a new perspective, and leveling it up. Don't linger in the past. Venus and Aries wants you to focus on the future. This is about success after completion as well. So when we equate that to relationship, it's like, look, that period, that stuff, those issues that we went through, that's done. It's completed. Now it's time for us to be successful in this relationship. Now, it's so funny because they're viewing you as the devil, Gemini. So I don't know. I mean, are they, you know, what are we looking at here, right? I mean, this could be... again, subjective read. Are you being controlling? Maybe not. Maybe they're worried about you having an affair. Maybe there was an affair. Maybe there was some sort of codependent pattern being exercised here. Maybe there's some sort of addiction that you're struggling with that they're very concerned about you with. Or maybe they're just concerned about the way that you react to situations, something like that. But whatever it is, it's this idea, though, they want to temper it. Right? And they do recognize that you want to temper it as well. Again, going back to the idea of this being the lover's energy in numerology, it's let's be in this together and figure this out. And they're recognizing that you're in that space, that you're now. This could also be them knowing that you're calling them out on their stuff. You're calling them out on their devil energy, their addiction, their lack of balance within the relationship, their whatever it is, and you being in the space where it's like, all right, I'm all about, let's try to balance it out. Let's try to balance it out. And then we have the Three of Cups as their challenge. So they're feeling like they're having a hard time feeling really supported in something. So you guys might be working towards something, moving towards something, but it's like, I'm feeling like they feel, whether it's true or not, they feel kind of alone in a situation. Like too much responsibility is being pushed on them, you know, that kind of thing. That could be a challenge. Now, for others of you, the devil energy, the lack of support that you might be calling them out on, their issue might be too much partying. Maybe they think you're doing too much partying, or you think they're doing too much partying, right? Having to do, depending on how you're understanding the devil to be showing up, right? But this could just also just be this very much a lack of support for whatever reason. Now, in the near future, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is really nice because this is about taking care of business, taking care of body, mind, soul, spirit, finances, all of that, being reliable, being supportive, being a generous energy, focusing on marriage, relationship. This could also indicate if money's been a thing for you in your relationship, money coming to those of you who are coupled. This could also indicate good financial management within the relationship. This is also really beautiful energy for a sensual sex life. This is also excellent for fertility. For those of you who are at that age and stage in your life where you're thinking about maybe trying to get pregnant, or any energy that would incite the idea of fertility. So launching that project, you know, growing your family, expanding your home, anything like that. This is all good. This is all good. This is Sagittarius and Capricorn. We love where Sagittarius hangs out. We just like that. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So there's a lot of idea of expansion, a lot of idea of, you know, with integrity though, and truth. And it's interesting because it's in Capricorn. So something positive, very positive may happen having to do with the area of work, either for them or you. And it's like that experience outside of your relationship is actually going to help enhance the relationship in some way. And then we have the Four of Cups energy, which is interesting because this is, again, maybe they feel like the relationship needs a little bit of spice going on right now. There could be this energy of restlessness as well, wondering maybe if things ever going to be exactly right. They need to, see, this is the thing, whoever you're dealing with here, Gemini, they need to, I'm not saying that they're wrong to feel the way. The spirit is not saying that. The cards are not saying that they're wrong in feeling, well, Gemini does A, B, and C, and then this, and this, and I'm feeling very disillusioned about the whole thing. Is this ever going to be peaceful? Is it ever going to be, fill in the blank? They need to look at their own stuff for a minute. They just do. And it's not to point fingers. It's just to recognize that, usually anything that comes up in a relationship, it's not so one-sided. So, looking at their role, let's just say that, in the situation. So we have the Two of Wands, the Wheel, Six of Cups, okay, Magician, Tower and the Sun. Oh my gosh, we get the Tower and the Sun in your reading too. Yeah, definitely page turning energy. There's no question. No question. We have the Two of Wands. Okay, this is really good. This is a Mars and Aries energy, right? Fresh path, new perspective. Come on, let's go, right? This is, they are confused about something within the relationship. There are two aspects of a situation, and they have to figure out what the right thing is. This could have to do with something going on with your intimacy, something going on with where you guys are living, something to do with your children, anything like that, right? But there is this element of confusion there. And that's being clarified by the Wheel. The Wheel is a Jupiter energy. This is, in numerology, this is the Magician and the Sun. So this is communicating in a really beautiful way to make things go, really they're looking for the better, right? This is something very fated. There's a turning point. There is this need to take a chance, right? This could indicate really good news coming in some way into the relationship. But this is also an idea of kind of looking back at the past, So we have two energies of the past. So I don't know if some of you are going to be dealing with your partner hearing from somebody from their past, and that may be confusing them a little bit, or them being concerned about you hearing from somebody from your past, and that may be giving them a sense of uneasiness and confusion, right? Because we do have the Six of Cups here, which can indicate, somebody from the past kind of coming back, right? Somebody from the past may be missing you, reaching out, and then being like, I'm not sure about that. But for others of you, this could just be them really being very focused on balancing your relationship, especially if they feel like they've mistreated you in some way, or if they feel like you mistreated them, really focusing on remedying the situation. And we have the Knight of Cups, so some sort of proposal is going to come in, which is very, very nice. And it's a proposal that's going to end up inciting a different way of understanding. So it's almost like a very dreamy energy. Aquarius and Pisces, very dreamy about the future. Deep communication, deep conversations, Magician, and in a way where the fantastic communication is going to end up resolving issues through a deeper understanding of what you each need. So it's really nice. So that deepness is going to be there. Now we have this Two of Pentacles, and this is about negotiating. You need to make a decision regarding more than one path. So again, this can be having to do with your specific relationship, or a decision that you guys have to make as a couple, and they're just not sure. So we have one of the Pentacles is going to be put down, and it's going to be put to rest. Like that situation, that arrangement that we had, that whatever, we have to put that in the past. That's it, once and for all. Once and for all, we're going to move in together. Once and for all, we're going to buy that business. Once and for all, we're going to launch this thing. We're going to have a baby. We're going to get married, whatever it is, right? I'm going to put that unhealthy pentacle down where I'm feeling sense of lack, they're saying to themselves, or you, and saying that's it. That's done, because now it's time for us to have the Sun. And again, you might be going on a trip to celebrate, consummate, whatever the heck you want to call it. Yeah. whatever good news energy this is bringing. So nothing but beautiful, good stuff is what I see, Gemini. I hope you're resonating with this. It's a beautiful reading. If this is not your reading, I'm so sorry. Maybe I will get you next time. But really good stuff here, no question. I'm going to leave it there. I don't feel like I even need to pull like all oracles or qualifiers on those beyond what I already pulled. That's what I have for you, my Gemini friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.